And while we have the opportunity, Mike, let's go through some of the highlights.
Yeah, and there were plenty of those. Lafayette, again, we wanted them to jump on the board early, and, they did it through their defense here. And a guy who's been playing outstanding football in Gabe Dubois. 2 strips last week against Colgate to seal that game here. A big interception to set up this run by the best running back in the league. He's over 1,000 yards for the season. Didn't play really in the entire second half, keeping him healthy. Ended with 55, 56 yards right there. Troy Bruce, capable backups, got the strength, the power to blast that in. Lafayette with that 14-0 lead. And then a great job here by Samaj Cross, dropping back into coverage, something Lafayette worked hard on this weekend. Last week got into coverage, makes an interception. I thought this was a gorgeous play. What a call by TJ DiMuzio. What design by TJ. Great job there, and they executed it. And you see Jamar get into the end zone with a 27-yard catch from Dean DeNoble, then a 1-yard run. So Lafayette jumps out. They are up 28-0 at this point right here. A good throw here on a 3rd down to Carson Persing. Persing ended the game with, I think, 6 catches for over 70 yards. Mason Keener had close to 70 yards as well, or 90 yards, on 3 catches. But Dean DeNoble, watch this throw. Boom, rocket right into Mason Keener. Remember, that was a 3rd down at about 15, and Keener with a great route versus a man-free look. And he beats his guy one-on-one. Then you're going to see again, here's Troy Bruce just pounding it in for his 2nd touchdown of the day. So Lafayette highlights all over in the 4th quarter. Nice job here again. This is Trey Mooney getting it in the end zone. Good for him. Happy to see that, because he again had to play behind DeNoble and obviously the Penza package. So he got in the game, got himself a touchdown. But some good plays on the other side. We talked about Jacob Flynn. He went up and took this football away. Those are things for Lafayette. Those are on film. The defensive backs have to look at that. They had 2 long passes completed against them, and here Stonehill punches it in. But Lafayette with a much-needed win and some momentum heading over to Bethlehem next week.
Speaking of heading over, Mike and I will head over there for next week's ball game. You're invited to join us. It is a noon start, and we're going to call it a day up here in the booth and send it down to Megan with Coach Troxel.
Dean, in a game that could have been overlooked by your team, you guys came in and gave it your all, stayed locked in until the very last snap. What credit do you give you and your teammates today?
I think it's just one game at a time, and I think we prepare like that every game, and we'll come out victorious if we just prepare like that every game. But it was really easy for us to just look past it and look at Lehigh. But I mean, I think we want to do this for the seniors, the 5th years, and those guys. This is the last time they could play on Fisher Field, so definitely want to come out victorious. Put our all into this.
On those last couple of plays, we were able to see on the sidelines all of the starters cheering on for some of the second teamers in there. Could you just explain what it's been like to play on the team this season, how tight-knit you guys really are?
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing, like having like a senior like Keller Gammons like going out there and like getting a like reception. I mean, that gets everyone like going, starter, non-starter. I mean, we're all the same at the end of the day, so it was a great feeling.
Next week is Lehigh. Lehigh will be playing for the championship next week. You and your teammates have the ability to play spoiler. I mean, with the emotion that already comes in, how would you describe what it's going to be like going in next week to their territory and what you have the potential to do?
It's definitely going to be a fun game, but I mean, at the end of the day, like, I think we're the best team in the country, so our best is better than anybody's best, especially them. So I'm excited to go out there and do just our job and what we do.
Dean, thank you so much.
Thank you.
John and Phil?
Yeah, thank you, Megan. Terrific job by you. We'll see you in just a moment. Phil, I think John Troxel got what he wanted and what they needed from this game going into the big one next week, and no one knows that better than you.
Yeah, absolutely. If John could talk, he would have let us know himself. But exactly, I don't think it could have worked out any better. Got some really great reps out of his first team. Also got to get some second team guys in there to get them some reps and get the first team guys some rest as well. And hopefully everyone's healthy for next week.
I think a big thing that can be overlooked, but you and I are on the sideline, and I think the reaction by the entire team, one of the big things, he got everybody involved today. You know how those second teamers and third teamers, the scout team guys work, and this was really a galvanizing kind of atmosphere, yeah. And that's got to carry over into next week. And welcome back, Megan. Nice job talking to Dean, and it was a good game today. today all around for the Leopards.
Well, and to your point, John, with it being a galvanizing type of a game, just in speaking with Dean, you can just tell how close and how tight-knit this unit really is this season. And you'd have to think of everything that they've gone through, right? The season not going as perfectly as they've played for. The biggest thing also is this now puts Lafayette back in the win column, right? And then also a win next week could potentially then, a potential win next week could now have Lafayette have their first back-to-back winning seasons for the first time since 2009. And John, we were talking about it a little bit on the sidelines, and this is what could happen next week is more impactful than just beating Lehigh. It's really big with the culture change here at Lafayette.
Yeah, you know, we talked about it. For the first time in 15 years, the Lafayette football team now will have a chance to have consecutive winning seasons.
Yeah.
And I know that Phil understands this, but the only thing, well, there's nothing better than beating Lehigh. There's not, and you know, I understand the expectations were what they were this year coming in. Everybody was looking for a Patriot League championship, and that's the ultimate goal. But historically, when you're part of the Lafayette football community, 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now, you're going to come back. The first question is going to be, how did you do against Lehigh?
Yeah.
Not did you make it to the NCAA
Sounds like this one has heard that question a couple
yes,
of
absolutely.
times.
But and the next best thing to, you know, playing and beating them for a championship is playing and beating them to take the championship away from them, right?
Well said.
And I think it is just zooming out, right? Just the culture change and just putting into perspective what John Troxell has been able to do since his time here has come when he took over the program. Now let's talk a little bit more about today's game, specifically Jamar Curtis and what he has brought into his team, as we're going to look at some highlights for him. 3 touchdowns on the day, 2 on the ground and 1 receiving. I mean, he is just so dynamic.
Well, two great minds work well together.
Yes.
Phil had, for his impact player, a running back, and I had the running game. So I will tell you, the tone was set early, and Lafayette's offensive line did a terrific job. And Jamar Curtis rode those horses to setting the tone. And you know, Phil, I know you want to see more out of the wide receivers.
Of course.
Understandably so, as a Hall of Famer. But I think you'll agree.
Oh, absolutely. You know, and again, we talked about it at halftime, just in terms of getting him the ball and not only just handing the ball off to him, but getting it to him in space, you know, as a receiver. So I really like that. The Lehigh team is going to have to scheme for that defensively, and we're just going to let him go.
However, I do want to make a note on your impact player, John. He got himself involved a little bit as well. Sean Kinney, he had a fumble recovery himself, so he was shown that he could do a little bit. See, he chooses the lineman.
Why are you surprised?
I know, I should not have been surprised here at all. I told you I was so excited about that being your impact player.
Yeah, I have to say, though, that things do set up well. You know, Lehigh early in the season, we were all surprised that how poorly they were playing. Mm-hmm. That team has turned it around.
Yes.
And you're looking at a team that was picked in Lafayette to win the Patriot League, and a team in Lehigh that has really found its stride. It all tees up as a fantastic showcase for the Patriot League.
So I have to leave it here because I'm going to be jealous. I'm not on the sidelines with you all next weekend.
No way.
I'm bummed. I have a family wedding. So, Phil, what are you most excited for next week going into Lehigh?
Just seeing this team, you know, if they can play like they did today, bring it, I think they can compete very well and go out and win that game.
I'm just looking for a Lafayette win because I know how excited. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That's one of those games. You know, sometimes as a coach or as a player, it's not whether you win or not. It's how you win or how you lose.
Yes.
It's all out the window. W is all that matters. Let's go beat Lehigh.
Let's go beat Lehigh. Well, you heard it from John Leone himself. Next week, be sure that you are tuning in. We will have pregame, halftime, postgame, all of the good stuff for Lehigh and Lafayette next week here on ESPN Plus on the Lafayette Sports Network. From Phil Lang, John Leone, and myself, Megan Caffrey, we're so happy to have had another weekend with you, and we'll see you next week.